Abbey Mayer's Northtown Neighborhood News Magazine, a presentation of Sonny Hirsch and myself. Dial us up on the web at ntnm.org. Jewish Chicago will be coming out for the beginning of early voting, and it's getting closer and closer, so if you want to participate, you guys know what to do. It is a pleasure to reintroduce you to a candidate for clerk of the Circuit Court of Cook County, Jacob Meister. Jacob, how you doing?
Thank you for having me back.
First of all, my pleasure, and how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. We have the campaign is going really well. We're picking up a lot of support every single day throughout the county, and the traction is hit. After the first of the year is when everything starts in earnest, and it's been going well. It's been going very well.
No, that's good. What if people want to? I take it you're open to people inviting you to speak and
Yep.
to speak at events and things like that.
Absolutely, and I'm doing it pretty much every day all over the county. I'm only limited by the number of hours in the day. If I had 48 hours in a day, I could even get more done. But we're crisscrossing the county, all the way from Indiana up to Lake Cook Road, and every place in between.
What are the issues in this campaign?
Well, there's very serious issues in this campaign. This campaign, probably more than any other I can ever remember, and probably you can ever remember, is about justice and about social justice. And whether we're looking at the presidential campaigns all the way down to the school board, people are really concerned about the relationship between government and the population, whether it's police, whether it's the way that our schools are operated and what goes on in the schools. We've got the Black Lives Matter movement going on. We've got a whole array of social justice issues that are being examined very closely in this race. And the clerk's office is very much in the mix as well. We've got a clerk's office that is outdated. It's mired in both ethical and operational problems that need to be addressed. People aren't getting justice, not because we don't have good judges who want to work hard and get things done, but because our clerk's office is a paper-based system. There's errors that happen in the paperwork constantly. It hasn't implemented proper technology, as have other courts all around the country. We're still in this paper world that ends up causing, Sheriff Tom Dart not to know that a court has ordered an inmate released, and that inmate, because the paperwork hasn't made it to Tom Dart or it's inaccurate, ends up sitting there for days, weeks, sometimes months. I have a case that I recently learned about where an 18-year-old had served his entire sentence in the Illinois Department of Corrections. The time for release came and went, and he wasn't released because Clerk Brown got the paperwork wrong, and it took 6 months after the release date for him to actually get out. And the consequences not only are tremendous in terms of taxpayer. There's a lawsuit pending for violation of his civil rights. Taxpayers have had to pay to house him for an additional 6 months. But the most tragic part is, an 18-year-old losing 6 months of his life is something that our system should not tolerate.
Not to mention, bad things can happen to you at county jail. So
Yes.
that possibility was there.
Yeah, well, this individual was actually in the Illinois Department of Corrections. He was actually in prison.
Well, it's actually not the nicest place either.
No, absolutely not. And
I don't think I'm going to have my next golf outing there.
Yeah, the consequences are serious and very severe. Child support, the child support payment system, which is administered by the clerk, is a mess. On both sides, whether you're the custodial parent or the non-custodial parent. Custodial parents are not getting checks on time when they should be there. They get lost. Changes of address don't take place. And the custodial parents, I've got, parent or non-custodial parents who, when a child is hitting age 25 and the clerk's office is still trying to collect, as though the child was under 18. And
Wow.
so it
Wow.
works both ways. It's a disaster. It's a disaster.
Well, that doesn't sound very healthy at all. No way. So no. So anyway, you'll. I assume that if you become elected the next clerk of the Circuit Court of Cook County.
That is my plan, and we will. Those systems need to be updated and brought into the 21st century. The fundamentals of the clerk's office really date back to the 1960s, when the court system was unified. There used to be a couple hundred courts, different municipal courts, that were put under one unified roof back in the 1960s, and the fundamentals of the way that the office operates haven't changed. It's still paper-based system with paper, the whole office structured around piles of paper coming in and making it to the right desk, and then, getting processed and then moving on to the next and moving up a floor and down a floor. And it's an antiquated way of doing business. Our banking system figured it out in the 1980s how to become more efficient.
I don't even write checks anymore. Everything's internet.
Yeah, everything's computer based. It's very, very efficient, and the courts need to go through the same change.
And if, by the way, if pre-computer you had seen my previous offices or house, it was basically a pile of paper and then some. I mean, unbelievable. And it's so nice to be able to store everything in a computer that way. It is just so much more efficient, the whole shot, you name it. Okay, we're doing shorter segments these days, guys, because we're doing 4 candidates per show. Your contact information?
It's jacobmeister.com. That's JACOBMEISTER.com. You can find us on Facebook as Jacob Meister for Clerk of the Circuit Court. Please like us, follow us, and stay abreast of this race. It's a very important race, and I'm proud to say that we got commentators out there who say I'm the most qualified with impeccable credentials, and I intend to bring those credentials to clean up the office of the Circuit Court.
Jacob Meister, good luck in the campaign.
Thank you.